First of all, you need to define democracy. What do you mean by democracy?
Well, the Prophet changed people's minds. He didn't kill them into
But that's not democracy.
change. He didn't.
But that's not democracy.
No, but he changed people's
democracy.
minds. He spoke. He preached. He changed people.
Democracy basically is the rule of the majority.
But democracy is an alternative to the sword.
No, democracy is the dictatorship of the majority. Okay, if 51% vote against 49%, and 49% and 51% are basically on two different views, let's say on a given matter, 51% will rule. They will have their way. So let's say Hitler came to power in Germany, right? Hitler convinced the German people that the Jewish people are evil. They are trying to take over the world. Hence, we need to do something about the Jewish people. And then all the German people, having been, not all, of course not all, I'm saying majority jump on the bandwagon because of the propaganda, because of the control Hitler exercised over media, German media.
That's not how Hitler came to control. He didn't come to control via democratic vote.
No. After he came to power,
but he used emergency powers in the German law to give himself the power.
Yes,
he never voted
yes. But
democratic.
I'm saying in 1933 when he came to power as the Chancellor, I know how he came to power. I'm saying, how did he convince the German people to support him? He exercised immense support from the German people during the Second World War.
You're not answering the gentleman's question. He's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that your Prophet gave people the confidence to believe in him and in your faith by convincing them, right? He talked to them, he convinced them peacefully, which essentially is democracy. He convinced enough people where the people then supported him. He didn't enforce anyone into supporting him. Whereas what you're advocating for is a kind of, you said in democracy, you choose death by shooting, death by hanging, death by etc.
Yeah.
The thing is, in democracy, I agree, you might not necessarily have great options, but in your system, you enforce death by shooting.
No.
You don't give the option.
No, we don't. Death is not an option on the table for us, because what we're dealing with life. We're saying you follow this system, you will have life. How? Your roads will be clean, your hospitals will function, you'll be happier, there won't be any corruption.
No, this is all great in theory, but when it comes to having a leader in power, it does go back to the main question, which I've been standing here for about 10-15 minutes, I don't think you've answered it, which is, how do you pick that leader? Because
I just told you.
No, but you as an intellectual may have one opinion about who will be a good leader. There are other intellectuals who have different opinions to you.
That's why, if you heard me clearly, I was saying that there is a group of people called Ahlul Halli wal Aqd. We call them the influentials. Influentials is a general term which describes most of them. Scholars, intellectuals, and influentials.
It's like the House of Lords.
Okay, and all of these people, no, not the House of Lords.
They're not elected.
No.
They're not intellectuals.
And it's Islamically speaking, these influentials, they have to fit a certain criteria. For example, they have to be practicing Muslims. They cannot be openly, publicly involved in any haram deeds, drinking, womanizing, lying, cheating. If they are known to have lied, they are not acceptable.
But Adnan, who defines what a practicing Muslim is?
Okay.
Your definition.
I'm giving you.
In Pakistan have a variety of opinions on that.
I'm giving you the criteria. For example, in an Islamic court, what is a trustworthy witness in an Islamic court? When a person comes forward, the trustworthy witness is that there is no accusation against him of lying or doing something haram publicly. That's a trustworthy source. So likewise in Islam we have a standard, we have a criteria to know who is worthy of being one of the influentials. And one of these influentials is basically a person who has not lied, who has not cheated, who has not oppressed anyone, and who has not committed any haram in public. In other words, he's not known to have been involved in drinking or binge, drinking parties or mujras, for example. Some of our MNAs and MPs are openly involved in mujras.
There's some religious people who are corrupt as well.
Absolutely.
And
so they shouldn't be. They cannot be there. Those religious people who are known to be corrupt, they are known to anyone who's questionable. Let's say this is the point. Anyone whose profile is questionable, like Maulana, for example. I'm so sorry to say, Diesel.
Diesel.
He wouldn't be part of that committee, in my opinion. He wouldn't be. And others.
But would you have a say? That's the point.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have a say.
I would have a say. I'll tell you why. If I'm one of those influentials, if I happen to be one of those influentials, I can raise my voice and I can say, this guy has this accusation against him, therefore he does not fit the...
He might, because you guys are all in a room making decisions and the people aren't able to have any influence over it, you're able to exert influence and power on the other people in the room.
No.
So you'll hush everything up.
To a hybrid model of what both of you are saying.
Let me
You're
explain.
saying a democracy.
In the science of
freedom
hadith,
selection,
in the
and
science
we
of
get
hadith,
who to choose.
wait.
By the way, the word
I have an
democracy,
answer for you.
the word democracy makes it sound Western, but in the Islamic concept, there's a consensus of opinion.
Yeah, so
a form of
your
democracy.
issue is that as people can't vote whoever's in that room.
Yeah, I think
You
the
guys get to
people
pick.
should have a voice.
Isn't there not an
Yeah.
option of you guys
Okay.
selecting them as a committee?
Yeah.
And then
It's a
to the-
committee.
to the-
It's
to
a
the- to the-
it's a
to the
committee
public
of
to pick.
scholars, intellectuals, influentials, thinkers.
As long as they fit that criteria.
Yeah, and they are trustworthy. They're not liars. They're not corrupt. There is no accusation of corruption against them, moral or otherwise. They belong in that committee. Anyone else cannot sit on that committee. For example, where do I get this from? In the science of hadith, we have a criteria. Who do we accept hadith from? There are perfectly moral people, but there are issues with their characters. For example, they might have, at one point in their life, they might have done something that doesn't fit the high standard of the hadith collectors. So they would put him aside. They say because it's an important issue like our theology, our belief, we cannot take our religion from someone doubtful. So we have to put them aside. Wait, let me finish. So
you
likewise,
have a jury system.
we have a
that decides-
jury-like system, a type of jury.
By the way, the jury system
that
comes from an
chooses
Islamic
the ruler.
concept.
That chooses the ruler. That chooses the ruler. We call it Ahlul Hadli wal Aqd. We have this example from the life of Abu Bakr. When he was chosen by influentials. They all agreed on his choice.
Is it the same as a shura?
Absolutely.
Right, so
Yeah, Shura, but not the entire country.
Population.
That's not possible. Okay, so you choose the influentials, you choose the leaders, and then they do shura between themselves. They choose someone, and then that person becomes the
Okay,
leader.
so
This is the Islamic system.
But when you say that the total population don't get involved, but do they get involved in their local areas to pick the person that they want to go to the shura?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But isn't that
No.
a better concept?
Let's say there's a scholar who is highly knowledgeable and doesn't have any representation from his local area, and because he has that knowledge and has that character, is upright, not corrupt, okay, is not known to have done any corruption, he belongs in that committee.
But what about-
he will automatically take his place in that committee.
What about local people selecting people to represent them in the shura,
Okay.
who they believe is an upstanding, uncorruptible person?
If a tribe, let's say,
Yeah.
or if a city, they say this is our chief,
Yeah.
our guy,
Is that acceptable?
we want him to be on the committee. Then they will check him. Is he corrupt?
Yeah.
Is he truthful? Is he practicing? Is he a Muslim?
It's a bit similar to the British system then, isn't it? Because
No,
you know,
the
if you're
British
an
system.
MP, you can't
The British
really-
system.
don't think you can have previous
The
convictions.
criteria for morality is not the same as Islamic
No,
criteria.
you have to have Islamic morality. Obviously here you've got Western morality, which judges whether or not an MP is suitable. So has he got previous convictions? Is he a bankrupt? That kind of thing. But effectively, you're
For
saying the
example,
same thing.
Boris Johnson, who's the Prime Minister now, he has countless children with countless women, right?
But from a Western point of view,
even from Western point of view, that's a problem. It's a problem. Why was
With some.
Why was Clinton thing such a big thing? Why was it? If it's not a problem, why was Monica Lewinsky affair such a big news? It was a big news
It was
because
big
it
news
is.
from a moralistic point of view.
Yeah.
But Clinton stayed president. Boris Johnson is still our MP.
Yeah. So yeah.
So the morals
no,
are
he's
very
our
different.
Prime Minister. Yeah.
Sorry, Prime
PM,
Minister.
Yeah.
So the morals are very different.
Now
So you have to apply
he recently
Islamic
broke the law.
morals.
He recently broke the law on COVID. He's telling the entire nation, you follow these SOPs, and then he himself is having a party in the
Okay.
backyard. So now,
In a Muslim nation, or particularly in Pakistan, do you think you can commit crime like that and have consequences.
Where? In a Muslim
Obviously,
society?
Boris Johnson is having to pay a fine.
Yeah.
He's being paraded in the media for breaking the law.
In a
Muslim country.
In a Muslim society.
Yeah.
In an ideal Muslim society. You're asking me the question about an
Obviously,
ideal.
in an ideal Muslim society, they'd be punished.
Yeah.
They'd be removed from power.
Yeah, they would be removed from
punished.
power. They would be
But
removed from
in
power,
Pakistan,
or they would be
in
asked to.
Pakistan, they're celebrated.
We have examples. Yeah, absolutely. So who's the problem now? Actually, you're coming to an agreement with me, right? We are now coming to an agreement. So the people celebrate the badmash. They celebrate the gangster. Okay, and not only that, they will come and help the gangster in his corruption, right? They will bring him to power.
But guess what?
Yeah.
People are coming onto the streets now.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing it for what it is.
So
People power.
This is
so
why.
people power is changing it.
This is why
Because
I
we
like
can't-
what Imran Khan is doing.
Yeah.
He is awakening the people. He is waking people up. That hold on a second, you can change things. Now, when he said in Karachi that you are becoming a qawm, you are not from a mob, you're turning into a nation, right? Because previously Pakistan has been a mob.
Listen,
okay? And
that
it's
is
the
the
rule of
best.
the mob. Yeah.
That's the best line.
Yeah.
Turning into a nation.
Yeah.
And on that basis,
Yeah.
I think we should
agree.
end the discussion.
We agree.
And we
but,
agreed.
But I still believe very strongly, with firm conviction, that I have a history of 1,000 years in my mind. Okay? And I'm not willing to give that up for new experiments with different ideologies and systems when we have a system
So you
that
can hark
works.
back to the original. Medina Keriyasi.
So we need.
And what I'm saying is,
not
you
even
can
that. The law of Islam, the
Yeah.
law of Islam, the moral system of Islam has to be applied. You have to educate the people now.
Well, you
the
do.
reason why you're hungry, the reason why you're starving, the reason why you're starving, the reason why you don't have your rights. The
Can I
reason,
just leave you with one thing?
Yeah.
The jury system. We just talked about the jury system. Yeah. The jury system is regarded as a British concept. Yeah.
not necessarily.
Well, it dates back how many hundreds of years?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It comes from the Islamic system.
Yeah.
That was, and they discovered it during the Crusades. So the Islamic system was that you are judged by the upstanding people within the community.
Yeah.
You're judged by your peers,
Yeah.
a group of people,
Yeah.
right? So they, during the Crusades, they learnt about that, and they brought it into the system, judicial system here. You know, over here, you have
That system is not Islamic, by the way.
no, but the jury system, right?
The
you
jury
have
system
judged
is
by
not
your peers.
necessarily Islamic. No.
know, here
we
you
have,
have-
we have the court system where
Okay.
the judge.
Can I just also mention, in this country, barristers have to come from 4 inns of court, yeah? Lincoln's Inn,
Yeah.
Gray's Inn, Middle Temple, Inner Temple, right? That, again, came from the Crusades. Because, of course, in Islam, you've got the Hanbali, Hanafi, Shafi schools of thought.
Yeah.
So they introduced that over here. The point I'm making is, what Imran Khan was doing is harking back to the Medina period and taking concepts out of that and trying to bring it into the Pakistani society and reinvigorate it. Not reinvent it, reinvigorate
I
it
agree with
and
you.
bring it to the masses.
The slogan.
And that's why he's very repetitive.
The slogan is beautiful, but it has to materialize. So when you say Riyasat Medina, the Riyasat of Medina or the state of Medina has to materialize, not only in words, in also practice. So
So you've got to take the steps.
Yeah.
You've got to take the steps.
Yeah.
different types.
Lovely
And the first
talking
step is the slogan.
to you. Always.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Take care.
Sorry, I can't hear you. No problem. Yes. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, you were asking. Yes. Go ahead.
The people themselves have a responsibility to step forward towards the Medina Riyasat.
Yeah. Yeah.
One person can't just say Medina Riyasat until I have that.
Yeah.
And my understanding is the Prophet was invited to Medina.
So that's why.
Adnan, I watched your videos and you're very good in history. So I'm not in argument with you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have to clarify.
I agree with you. I agree that people have to come forward to take the position if the wrong people are there. Okay? So we need enough good people to come forward to educate the masses so that people can realize where they have gone wrong. The reason why they end up choosing the wrong people to come in power is because they themselves are corrupt. So we need to work on the people, at the same time create a group of leaders from those people.